Life with me, Gina Marie. Life with me, Gina Marie. Style, pork, baby back ribs with sauerkraut. I use wine, apple juice, and a special spice that my friend Lynn Schuler gave me. Thank you, Lynn. We're going to start with some baby back pork ribs, a 32-ounce bag of sauerkraut. And I do have this special spice, but you can use cayenne pepper, paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, garlic salt, all that stuff. Instead, the ingredients are on here, and I'm going to make my own when I run out. But I'm going to move all these cleaning things because I'm going to get them out of the way. I'm pulling my ribs out. I've rinsed them off. And they're not quite room temperature yet, but they've been waiting. And we're going to dry them now. But before I dry them, you know me, pick up the pieces and toss them in the trash. So I'm going to waste a bunch of my paper towels, like I do, use so many, to dry my meat real good. This makes the seasoning really stick and adhere to the meat. And some people take off the membrane on the back of the ribs. I've done it both ways, and to be honest with you, it doesn't make any difference. So I save myself the effort with my arthritis, and I don't take the membrane off the back. But I do want to make sure they're dry. Some people also cut the fat off of the pork ribs as well. I do not. I believe it's good fat and it makes the meat juicy. Oops, my doorbell rang and my niece Lisa came by. She painted me this beautiful portrait of Jesus. Thank you, Lisa. I let her in and we maintained social distancing while we enjoyed the beautiful painting, and her and my husband caught up while I seasoned my ribs. So I'm going to start with the salt. I like unexpected visits, but during COVID, it's kind of hard to see family, so be careful and keep your social distancing. Here we go. Salt, pepper, lots of it, because you can't have enough on the rub. I actually use a lot more when I'm barbecuing. But since this is going to go on top of the sauerkraut, I used, you can see exactly how much I put on there. And when I'm done seasoning this side, I think I'm going to add a little more onion powder and garlic powder. Again, there's no measurements here. There's no real recipe to the seasoning. Just you have to experiment with your flavors. Look it up online if you're not sure. They have seasoning recipes all over the internet. I just got used to what I do because of the way I cook all the time. But I'm adding a little more of that because I know it's just going to make it a little bit crispier on the outside of my rib. Then that special sauce, rub. My friend Lynn sent me an arraignment of rubs and seasoning for Christmas. It was very, very good gift, Lynn. Thank you. They will be used. And I'm going to rub that in to my rib real good, and I'm going to flip it over and do the other side too, the same way. I'm not going to show you because it's boring. Then I'm going to cut these into 2 pieces each, 2 bones a piece, and I'm going to put them in the bowl and set them aside while I make and get ready for the next step, which would be to get my sauerkraut prepared. So we'll cut these in half. I'll show you later. Excuse me. Okay, here we have the bag of sauerkraut. And we're going to empty that into a little bowl here. My fingers just ain't what they used to be. I drop everything, so I got to hang on tight and dump that in there. Very good. Whoops. Always kicking the tripod, sorry. Okay, as I do my own video here, what's next? Oh, I have to find either caraway or fennel seeds. I got myself a spoon here. I'm going to break up this sauerkraut. I didn't dump any juice. I left the juice from the sauerkraut. Here's where I add about a tablespoon of sugar, but it's really monk fruit because everybody knows I don't use real sugar. It's just like real sugar without the calories. Monk fruit. And then I have caraway and caraway and fennel. Yeah. Some people use one or the other. I got confused and I said, I'm going to just put a little bit of both. I tend to favor the fennel because I've used fennel before in sauerkraut, so I'll kind of add a little more of that. Then, okay, I think that's enough. And we will mix that up really good now and put it in the bottom of the pan that I have prepared, the Dutch oven that I'm preparing on the stove. Here I go mixing. Just fold in the little, you don't have to put those in there either if you don't like them or if you can't eat seeds. Some people can't. But I'm going to get my apple juice and wine, my favorite wine, Santa Margherita, Pinot Grigio, but you can use your favorite white wine. I like the Pinot Grigio, it's sweeter, and the apple juice is sweet, and it adds and complements the sauerkraut that we have in there, and the spices. Oh, I had to run to the refrigerator and grab me a piece of pizza. Sorry, folks, I got hungry for lunch. Okay, I'm going to add some oil, just canola oil, to my Dutch oven. It's like a 5-quart Dutch oven. I'm getting it nice and hot. I think I needed more oil. There you go. I speeded this up for us, heating the oven to 300 at this point. I'm getting it ready for this pot that I'm going to throw in there in a minute. But first, when that pot gets hot, nice and hot, because we want to sear the outside of our room temperature, dried off, rubbed baby back pork ribs. And we're going to I kind of rock the edges down into the pot so that they brown consistently because they bend, their ribs. So we'll keep moving those around. I'm cutting a lot of this out in the video because it's the same thing. Doing it in batches so they don't get crowded and they brown beautifully that way. I'll turn them over. I know they can't reach the bottom. They're arched, but I'm going to brown them a teeny bit on the other side, and then I'm going to put my favorite dish aside that I use to hold my meat while I'm preparing the rest of the meat here. And so we have our sauerkraut setting aside, ready to go in. About a half a cup of the wine and about a half a cup of the apple juice into the Dutch oven. Sometimes I call it a crock pot, so forgive me if I screw up with my words. I'm trying to do a voiceover here for you so you know what I'm doing. We got the heat pretty high, but we're watching it so they don't burn. I don't want to burn the oil because I'm going to use this pot to continue cooking with the apple juice and wine standing by. And the sauerkraut. I'm going to take these out now. They're all nice and beautifully browned and seared with all the crispy spices on top and the salt and pepper. There's my sauerkraut. The only thing is I threw about 3 tabs of little butter in there, like maybe a tablespoon and a half. And that gives the sauerkraut a creaminess. And I don't know, I just really like butter. Butter makes everything better. It's a good fat. Okay, then I think I look like I need more of those fennel seeds or caraway seeds at this point. I added a few, and I added about a half a cup of my favorite Pinot Grigio white wine. Getting it bubbly. I'm adding my apple juice. Keep the heat up because you're adding, hopefully, room temperature apple juice and wine to your pot. That keeps everything kind of level when you do that, even though white wine is supposed to be chilled. we'll chill it for dinner. But right now we're going to add our pork ribs, the little 2 at a time that I cut back in. They'll fit, kind of layer them around and ladle a little sauce over them. And we're going to put the lid on and 300 degrees in the oven for 1 hour. Bowls and dishes, and we've got the lid on. I can't open it and show you, but 300 with lid on, and you saw what I did, and we'll see what comes out. It's my own recipe. Kind of took bits and pieces of others, but I believe the butter really helps the sauerkraut get a little, I don't know, creamy. We'll see here to show you that I put it in the oven. 300 degrees for 1 hour. And I got a lid on it. I might take the lid off for the last 10 minutes. I'm not sure. I'll check. I don't think so. I'm going to leave it on the whole hour. I'll be back and I'll show you. This is the first time for me. I think the butter in the sauerkraut is like giving it a special thing. I love it. And the seasoning that my friend Lynn Schuler sent me from Third and Galena rub pork. It's like a rub. Actually, it has in it black pepper, paprika, cherry, nutmeg, sage, cayenne, crushed red pepper, and oh, my husband says this word, basil. Resin of basil. Anyway, that's what it is. And I don't know, you probably can look it up online if you want. But Lynn, thank you. I'm gonna wait in 1 hour. Can't wait. Be back. This is all you got it? Got it. There they are. Before I fried them in the oil. And there they are. After they've cooked in the sauerkraut. And there it is. With my beer. And my husband, Michael, come and eat. This is delicious. Loved this recipe. I hope you enjoy it as much as we did.
Very good.
How is it, Michael?
Very good. Very tasty.
It sure is.
Thank you for joining me today. Life with me, Gina Marie. It's never a dull moment. Facebook and YouTube videos are always available for you. I have 70 of them. Don't forget to click and follow and subscribe. Happy New Year. www